The anime begins in the year of 198, Tokyo's solar era, when an epidemic is inexplicably setting people on fire. It can afflict any person at any time, turning them into demonic flames called Infernals. When a person is turned into an Infernal at a train station, a special fire force arrives to annihilate and set his soul at rest. They shove a boy called Shinra Kusakabe back from the scene, but it turns out he's just joined Company 8 of the fire force after saving a sister from being crushed by a dislodged speaker from above. During the process, he leaves scratched footprints on the floor, which the force members refer to as the Devil Mark. The next day, he enters Special Fire Cathedral 8 and is interviewed by Captain Akadaru Obi and Takehiza Hinawa, who is seated nearby. Shinra doesn't hesitate to reveal that his sole reason for joining the force is to become a hero. He also reveals that he involuntarily pulls a devilish grin when nervous. He's hired right away and has got to have a new uniform. Then we get to know the female members of the force, including Maki Oz, a second-generation firefighter, and Sister Iris. In the night, he reminisces about his mom and newborn brother, who died of the aforementioned pandemic. Soon after, he and his team are dispatched to deal with an Infernal, later revealed to be the wife of a local factory owner. The force arrives on the scene in their special vehicle, called the Matchbox. Watching the fire reminds Shinra of his family, breaking him down. But with the help of his team, he is able to overcome his past at the moment, and they take down the Infernals right away. Later, Captain Obi informs Shinra about the upcoming tournament of Rookie Fire Soldier Games, where the newcomers from Fire Force companies will take part. It turns out Shinra isn't the only newcomer joining the tournament with the entry of another recruit, Arthur Boyle. Shinra not only shares an old acquaintance with Arthur but also an old rivalry. Maki gets them ready for the tournament and proves herself to be a badass by quickly wiping their bums on the floor. Here we learn that second-generation fighters can control fire, but only third-generation fighters can create fire. While the tournament is still pending, the Fire Force gets an emergency call to deal with an Infernal. On their way, Captain Obi warns the team not to reveal their weapons in front of the victims' families, but the newcomers duo fails to listen. When they reach the place, the newcomers duo reveal their weapons in front of the victim's family, earning them a stern lecture from Captain Obi. Afterward, Arthur steps in to put the Infernal father to rest, and just as he does it, the house burns into flames, set by an unknown foe. The team somehow make it out of it unscathed. The tournament begins with the rookies coming from 8 special fire force companies, with the mission of bringing pride to their respective teams. Here, Shinra meets Tamaki Katatsu, a chick/candidate. Then he crosses paths with a familiar man named Leonard Burns, whom he recognizes as the one who saved him 12 years ago when his family was murdered. When he confronts Leonard, he brushes off him, saying he neither knows him nor the fire 12 years ago, leaving Shinra sad and suspicious. Then the game starts and Shinra enters the building where he is supposed to fight with phony Infernals, but he is met by a strange man, Joker, who is revealed to be the foe who orchestrated the fire in the aforementioned building. He pledges to give Shinra the secret information about the corrupt Fire Force companies, as well as the death of his family. Shinra doesn't buy this and tries to attack the man. Arthur and Tamaki arrive soon after, and Joker flees the building, but not before revealing that Shinra's younger brother, Sho, is still alive. After he leaves, the building is set on fire but the trio manages to escape. After this incident, Shinra has a deep chat with Captain Obi, who tells him about the rivalry between Fire Force companies and that Company 8 has the secret mission of keeping an eye on all the others. After this, Company 8 starts analyzing the ashes Joker left behind and quickly learns that these are infernal remains that Joker employed to culminate fire. The scene shifts to a courtroom where a former firefighter, Setsuo Miyamoto, is declared not guilty despite killing several people just for the fun of it. The trial is cut short as Miyamoto jumps on the judge and reveals himself to be an Infernal, but with self-awareness. A Fire Force team quickly arrives there, and Shinra flies after Miyamoto and easily takes down his peg by subduing him. In the meantime, the 5th Company's captain, Princess Habana, arrives, who has been following them from the shadows with her squad. She then takes Miyamoto with her after reaching an agreement with Company 8. After seeing Princess Habana, Sister Iris looks concerned and then goes missing. It comes to light that Sister Iris went to meet Habana, with whom she was raised, but the latter became an atheist after a fire accident. Habana seizes the opportunity and kidnaps Sister Iris in order to entice Company 8 to come and fight. As expected, Company 8 arrives and comes to blows with the second-generation fighters of Company 5. After a long duel, Shinra and the team win, knocking Habana unconscious. When she regains consciousness, she gets some sense in herself and decides to abandon her questioning pursuit and also gets smitten by Shinra's signature smile. The 5th and 8th organize a party to make up for their bad rep. Princess Hibana says that someone is artificially creating Infernals, and there is a great likelihood that the Shinjuku area, where the first company, led by Leonard Burns, is actively engaged in the matter. So, Obi commands Shinra and Arthur to infiltrate the first company under the pretense of rookie training. But Shinra also has a secret mission to learn more about his mother and brother's events from Captain Burns. Upon arrival, he dares Captain Burns to have a sparring battle, to which he agrees. Shinra adds that if he wins, he would have the right to ask him one question. After all the side characters are done fighting, Shinra and Arthur are left, and Captain Burns decides to fight with the two at once. The captain reveals himself to be in another league of strength and easily defeats Arthur, followed by Shinra. He officially welcomes the newcomers to their company after the match. As Shinra's investigations continue in a peaceful way, Hibana's research data reveals that a genetic insect is being used, shoving it into someone's body to generate intentional infernals. Meanwhile, Company 1 receives a call about 5 infernals arising in the locality. When Shinra arrives, he notices that someone has shoved an insect into a victim's body, and his pursuit leads him to Kareem and Reika, members of Company 1. But when nothing comes from questioning them, he decides to investigate them, starting with Kareem. They infiltrate Kareem's room and find an insect there, but Kareem arrives just in time, explaining himself to be a mere investigator just like Shinra. That very much narrows it down to Reika. Elsewhere, Reika and Tamaki lure the children under the pretext of purifying them from evil infernals, and soon Reika reveals his intentions by knocking Tamaki unconscious and turning the mother into an infernal. Reika discloses that he works for a cult named Evangelism. When Tamaki gets up, she sees Reika infecting a child, but he survives, proving to be compatible. Tamaki releases her signal, unavoidable by Shinra, and he quickly arrives at the location, stomping Reika on the ground. But Reika somehow managed to manage the blow and arise again, but his intentions to kill Shinra stumble as he learns that the latter owns the Adala Burst ability, what evangelists are looking for. Shinra soon outmatches him and Reika starts ranting about his part of the story where he captures children to shove them under the cult's wings, tipping Shinra off as to what happened to his brother. Kareem just so happens to be there, and he captures Reika in his frozen cage. Their attempts to get more information from Reika are thwarted by some occultists/snipers who kill Reika from afar. Then they start shooting others, prompting Shinra and Tamaki to create a smoke screen to render the snipers' efforts useless. After this incident, Tamaki is suspended from Company 1 out of suspicion, so she joins Company 8 for the time being and Kareem shakes hands with Shinra. Later, the captains of all Special Fire Force companies are summoned to an emergency conference to address the Evangelist and the White Clad. Shinra travels with Captain Obi and Hibana, passing through the perpetual thermal energy plant, Amaterasu, which generates power for all of Tokyo. The Emperor holds the meeting and mentions Shinra as having an Adala burst, which is essentially a primordial god flame, the same sort that powered Amaterasu. Following the meeting, Shinra runs with Joker again, who believes the Evangelist abducted his brother, Sho Kusakabe, who is now the head of the White Clad. Then, we see Sho sitting on a throne, pulling Shinra's signature smile. Then we get to know how Company 8 came into existence. In the flashback, when Hinawa's friend Tojo is naturally converted into an infernal, he urges Hinawa to kill him. But he can't bring himself to do so, so the armed forces step in, killing his friend in front of him. Then Hinawa crosses paths with Obi, who just so happens to come up with the idea of building his own force, seeing as the current one is too reckless to deal with the increasing pandemic. That's how Company 8 was created, with the number of qualified employees increasing with time. In the present, they recall their first case of dealing with an infernal dressed in all white, finding a cross along with other sketchy things. They learn that the business where the incident happened is still functioning and located in Company 7 territory, headed by the strongest fire soldier, Benimaru Shinman. Company 8 breaks into Company 7 to find the Evangelist. Just then, Benimaru is summoned to annihilate an infernal, who turns out to be his friend, and here we learn that Benimaru is both a second and third generation fighter, thus he can create and control fire simultaneously. Benimaru destroys the buildings around him as a tribute to the victim. Afterward, Company 8 lends a hand to Company 7 to renovate the city again, impressing them. Conro, a loyal subordinate of Benimaru and a third-generation fighter, is suffering from a disease because of the overuse of his powers. At night, Benimaru overhears two clan members, disguised as Obi and Hinawa, who are talking about turning Benimaru's friend into an infernal. Successfully gaslighted, he indulges in a long fight with Company 8, which is brought to an end by Conro. Hereupon, Company 8 explains themselves, and Conro's condition gets worse. Not soon enough, The town is thrown into a pickle as everyone's doppelgangers emerge. A white-clad member, Yona, is the foe behind all this. He accompanies the other two clan members, Arrow and Haran, the snipers from before, to attack the Company 8. While Arrow is attacking them from afar, Shinra and Arthur pinpoint their location and work together to take them down. Arrow abruptly flees the scene, allowing Haran to consume the insect in order to transcend his power. He then changes into a bigger entity dubbed Demon, strikingly reminiscent of the one that killed Shinra's family. Haran gives a really hard time to Shinra, so Benimaru arrives and takes charge, bringing Haran to the sky. In the meantime, Arrow prepares to launch a deadly strike on Benimaru, but thanks to Shinra's newfound intuitive abilities, Benimaru is saved, and he blasts the demon subsequently. Arrow returns back to meet with Sho in his lair, who wants to recruit Shinra to help him, given his Adala link. Victor Licht is assigned to Company 8 as its forensic scientist, but he is viewed with suspicion since the assignment came from Hajime Industries, which controls 70% of Tokyo and most Fire Force companies. Obi then sends Shinra, Arthur, and Iris to speak to a man named Vulcan about joining the 8th as its engineer. Vulcan refuses to work with them. But after some help from his apprentice, Yu, they get to meet him. We learn that Vulcan has refused to work with all Fire Force companies as well as Hajime Industries, which has cost him potential clients. Moreover, he blames Dr. Giovanni, the head of the third company, for the death of his family. Their meeting is cut short with the arrival of Dr. Giovanni, who again asks Vulcan for the job, but he refuses. After he leaves, Shinra tries to pitch him again, but to no avail. Suddenly, he acquires the sense that Dr. Giovanni might be planning to kill Vulcan. He wants to stay to help him, but Vulcan urges him to leave. Still, he lingers nearby and is attacked by Dr. Giovanni, who knocks him down, intending to take him to Sho. Dr. Giovanni has also recruited two clan members, Mirage and Flail, to kill Vulcan, and Mirage fights with Arthur, who can't keep it up for long because of the illusion Mirage caused. At his workplace, Vulcan reveals that his grandfather built Amaterasu, but unfortunately for him, his co-worker, Lisa, shows her true color and attacks him, saying she works for evangelists. Soon after, Dr. Giovanni arrives and asks for the keys to Amaterasu, but Vulcan is unaware of it. Dr. Giovanni thinks he is lying, so he shoots you to get the keys. Habana makes a timely appearance on the scene. Apparently, from the commotion, she heard from the wire fitted to Iris. She unties Shinra, who breaks into the workplace, fighting with Dr. Giovanni while Habana fights with clan members. Shinra, after winning the fight, makes it out of the workplace where he is accosted by Sho, who shows no pity in attacking him and Arthur. He also retrieves the key from Dr. Giovanni, who just happened to find it. Suddenly, Victor arrives and saves everyone, driving them away by creating a smoke screen. Once in the clear, Vulcan joins Company 8, and Yu is rushed to the hospital. The following events involve Company 8 preparing to upgrade their game by training Shinra and Arthur, along with Vulcan building mind-blowing weapons. Victor, previously suspicious, turns out to be a good guy. Not to mention, he and Joker seem to be on their side. Benimaru teaches Shinra a technique called kata, which helps him condense his flames, something he has been struggling with recently. The company manages to locate the evangelist's location, the Nether, just a series of abandoned tunnels, as one might expect. As they enter the tunnels, a smoke screen covers them, eventually separating them. Iris is left with two Tamaki, one of whom is obviously an imposter. When the real Tamaki finds no way to prove herself, she strips down to nothing and reveals herself to be true while the imposter sneaks away. After Maki defeats Flail, Iris and Tamaki are accosted by Assault. He gives them a hard time, but in the end, the girls win. Elsewhere, Hinawa is cornered by Arrow, who unleashes a barrage of attacks on him, while he barely escapes. Shinra saves Victor, who is kept hostage by White Clads. The fight between Hinawa and Arrow is at a standoff, with Hinawa trying to survive her arrow attacks. After a long fight, Hinawa catches her flame in his gun and backfires it, taking her out. Soon, Arthur breaks through the ceiling to handle Mirage, who is preparing to kill the now weakened Hinawa. He kills Mirage using his newly learned skill called Breath of Life, by which he slices him down. Next, Obi and Vulcan conveniently bump into Lisa and Dr. Giovanni. Here, we learn that Vulcan has feelings for Lisa, and she also likes him, but is being manipulated by Dr. Giovanni. She then captures Obi and Vulcan in her flame tentacles while the duo tries to change her mind. It buys Obi enough time to detonate extinction bombs, rendering her powerless and low in flames. She then falls straight into Vulcan's arms, where she explains that she owes her life to Dr. Giovanni, as he once saved her. Suddenly, Dr. Giovanni pulls her with a fire wire and takes her hostage, asking Vulcan to shoot Obi, or he will kill Lisa. Just as Vulcan shoots Obi, Dr. Giovanni lets go of Lisa, only to learn that Obi was wearing a bulletproof vest. Then a fight of words and physicality starts. On the other hand, Shinra gets some cryptic flashbacks owing to the Adala link, and he starts seeing Sho's footprints, and following them leads him to Sho, where they fight again. Their fight is majestic, so fast that Victor can't even notice them. Sho takes the upper hand, owing to his ability to stop time, and after pinning Shinra to a wall, he takes him to another dimension. Dr. Giovanni leaves, as his mission was merely to get Shinra to Sho. The dimension is actually called Adala, or what you may think is hell. Sho explains that Adala Link isn't supposed to be on Earth and then teleports back to the same location with Shinra. He adds that he could stop time by stealing all the heat from the universe, thus causing its expansion to slow down because of cooling. Shinra realizes that his Adala Link is doing this all, and he uses it to accelerate so fast to break free from Sho's time-frozen world. When Sho resumes time, Shinra bumps into a wall because of his speed, and he again tries the same technique, hitting the wall again. Victor is fascinated and terrified at the sight of it, explaining that Shinra is traveling back and forth in time, turning into particles and physical body accordingly. Also, Shinra is worn out in the process, while Sho is fresh as ever. Victor adds that if Shinra overdoes it, he might die. Shinra leverages his ability to travel at the speed of light, traveling back in time and taking Sho along with him, showing how much he cared about him. This brings Sho to tears, and the brothers hug each other, but it turns out Shinra's fast speed accidentally stabbed him with Sho's sword. While Sho is taken aback, Haumea appears and wonders aloud about taking away Adala Burst to use it to destroy the world. Then she takes Sho under her influence and collapses him. Just as she is ready to take Shinra away, Arthur and all the other companions arrive to save Shinra. Then suddenly, an earthquake hits, causing both parties to rush back. Shinra is hurried to the hospital where he is treated by Captain Huang from Company 6. Thanks to her, Shinra recovers from serious injuries in no time. After waking up, he is met by Captain Burns, who admits to knowing the whole thing about the fire 12 years ago and his brother, turning Shinra angry. Captain Burns challenges him to a fight to learn the full truth. Now that Shinra has gotten so many powers, he subdues Captain Burns, who now agrees to tell him the whole story. He reveals that Sho had an Adala burst which was activated the night of the incident, turning her mother into an inferno as well as activating Shinra's Adala burst. He adds that the evangelist was also there, and by looking at it, Shinra's mother's eyes got flames, prompting her to drag her horns on them. Furthermore, she and Haumea took Sho away before the force arrived. Burns understood the whole situation because of his prior experience and lied to Shinra that her family was dead, so that he couldn't unleash his Adala burst. After the talk, Shinra recalls seeing the same creature as Burns described in the Nether, giving him hope for her mother to turn her back into a human. The first season of the anime ends there. Don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on the notifications if you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching.